We're going to start. The organizational meeting of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors will please come to order. We will now have a short announcement regarding interpretation services for the Spanish-speaking members of our audience.
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la Junta Escolar de las Escuelas Públicas de Milwaukee. Si desea escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor llame al 312-626-6799. Nuevamente, 312-626-6799. E introduzca el número de reunión 608-130-5362. Nuevamente, el número de reunión es 608-130-5362. Gracias.
Thank you. The Office of Board Governance has received certification from the City Clerk that Marva Herndon, Daryl Jackson, Megan O'Halloran, Erica Simpson, and Missy Zambor, who were elected or re-elected to the membership on the board on April 4th, 2023. They have all taken oath of office and are duly qualified to serve. We will now take the roll. When your name is called, please indicate your presence. Director Carr.
Here.
Director Garcia.
Present.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Present.
Director Herndon.
Present.
Director Jackson.
Present.
Director Leonard.
Present.
Director O'Halloran.
In attendance.
Director Simpson.
Present.
Director Zambor.
Present.
We have 9 members present. We will now recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Those members of the audience who wish to participate are invited to do so. Those who do not wish to participate are asked to remain silent during the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being conducted in person from the Central Services Building in order to allow as much public access as possible. This meeting is also being broadcast via live stream on the MPS website and on the MPS YouTube stream, the links to which may be found on the MPS website on the Boardcast page. As was stated in the public notice, and as is customary, at the annual organizational meeting, no public testimony will be taken tonight. At this time, the board will elect a temporary presiding officer to facilitate the election of the board's president. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Director Garcia.
So noted. If there are no objections to Director Garcia serving as temporary presiding officer to facilitate the election of the board's president, we will move forward. By unanimous consent, Director Garcia will serve as Chair Pro Tem, who will serve as a temporary presiding officer until a president is elected.
Thank you, colleagues, for your confidence in me having this very important part of our agenda today. So the next order of business is the election of the president to serve for the ensuing year. As the board clerk calls the roll, please indicate your selection for president. 5 votes are required for election.
When I call your name, please indicate your selection. Director Carr?
Passed.
Director Garcia? Oh, I'm sorry, as Chair Pro Tem, Director Garcia, you are called last.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Director Gokul Gandhi.
Gokul Gandhi.
Director Herndon. Director Jackson.
I'll pass.
Director Leonard.
Herndon.
Director O'Halloran.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Simpson.
Director Herndon.
Director Zambor.
Director Herndon.
And now I'm circling back. Director Carr.
Director Herndon.
Director Jackson.
Director Herndon.
Pro Tem Chair Garcia.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Having received 6 votes, Director Herndon will serve as Chair of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors for the ensuing board year. I'm sorry, President.
All right, for President Herndon, please take the chair and make a short acceptance speech.
Good evening again. What a shocker. I'm awfully thankful and appreciative of all the support I've had over the far many years as I've worked diligently for the survival and the best for our students within the district of MPS. I thank my comrades as we've gone through thick and thin, and the best is yet to come, I'm sure. We all, those of us that were already board directors, we toyed with the idea of stopping. And the commitment to our students, to our community, is what convinced us that it wasn't time yet. But I didn't realize that it not being time yet didn't include my becoming the president of the school board. So with that, I'm appreciative. I have to also give thanks to my husband, who has been with me all these years, not just since I've been on the board, but all the years of my antics running back and forth to Madison and down to City Hall at least 3 times a week. He stood by me, and for that, I'm appreciative, and thank you, dear. So with that, let's get the meeting going. In accordance with action taken by the board at its regular meeting of May 2021, we directed that each official meeting of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors shall include a land acknowledgement to help us remember nations and our ancestors who had an enduring relationship to and were keepers of the land where we now live. We acknowledge that Milwaukee lies on traditional Menominee, Potawatomi, and Ho-Chunk homeland, along with the southwest shores of Lake Michigan, part of North America's largest system of freshwater lakes. On this site, the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnick rivers meet and the people of Wisconsin's Menominee, Ojibwe, Ho-Chunk, Oneida, and Mohican sovereign nations remain present to this day. The next order of business is the election of a vice president to serve for the ensuing year. As the board clerk calls the roll, please indicate your selection for vice president. 5 votes are required for election. Madam Secretary.
Director Carr.
Pass.
Director Garcia.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
I guess Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Jackson.
Director Jackson.
Director Leonard.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director O'Halloran.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Simpson.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Zambor.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Carr.
Director Jackson.
President Herndon.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Director Gokul Gandhi, having received 7 of the 9 votes, will serve as vice president for the ensuing board year.
Thank you to my colleagues. I just want to say this is a mission-critical year. We know that with the school funding formula and what lies ahead of us, we have a lot that's going to be on our plate. And the strategic plan was something that I was really passionate about, and we really need to commit to making sure that that makes it past the finish line, because that's really what's going to set the tone for the next 5 years. And so my focus will really be on getting that through the finish line, and I really thank my colleagues for your support.
Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Director Gokul Gandhi.
The next order of business is the designation of a board clerk. Wisconsin statute section 119.10 requires that the board annually designate a board clerk. In April 2022, the board designated Dr. Jacqueline Mann as board clerk. If there's no objection, Dr. Mann will continue to serve as the board clerk. If there's an objection, allow for nominations and roll call. Madam Secretary, do you do the honors or me?
Given that there is no objection, I would like to thank the board for your confidence in me as your board clerk to continue to serve. And I and my team will continue to serve you as individuals and as a collective body. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. With that, Dr. Mann remains our board clerk. At this time, it is necessary to appoint board members to various boards and committees on which the Board of School Directors is represented. The first appointment is to the Library Board under Wisconsin statute, section 43.54, paren 1, close paren. The president is ex officio member of the Library Board. However, if the president elects not to serve, Board Rule 1.17, paren 7, paren provides that the board shall elect a member to serve as its regular meeting. Announce whether you choose to serve the board as the board's representative to the library A roll call vote is not required for this item. I
Madam
would
Chair?
ask, go ahead.
At this time, you would either choose to serve as the representative of the library board, or nominations will be taken, and this item will be considered at next month's board meeting.
I would recommend that we consider this at next month's board meeting.
So noted.
Thank you. Next is appointment of the board's representative to the Milwaukee Education Partnership. The next appointment is to the Milwaukee Education Partnership, known as MEP. The Milwaukee Board of School Directors is an executive partner of the Milwaukee Education Partnership, a PK-16 Council of Education, Labor, Business, Government, University Foundation, parent and community groups. The executive partners provide the ongoing direction and overarching goals and objectives for the work for the partnership. The president of this board is the board's ex officio delegate to the partnership. However, if the president chooses not to serve, the board may select a representative for the 2023-24 board year.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
at this time, you would either commit to serving or ask for nominations on service to the MEP. In previous years, we've had it both ways. The president has served or has delegated, so that it's up to you as president.
Thank you. It is my suggestion as president that we poll see if someone else would like to serve on the board. If not, then I'm willing to do that.
I'd like to nominate Director Leonard.
Madam Chair, if there are no objections or other nominations, Director Leonard will be listed as the appointee
with
to the
that?
Milwaukee Education Partnership.
Okay. Welcome, Director Leonard, to
Thank
the
you.
MEP.
I'm saying thank you, but I'm not sure, but thank you.
Next is the appointment of the board's delegate to the Wisconsin Association of School Boards. This item is the appointment of the delegate to the Wisconsin Association of School Boards. As a nonprofit organization, the WASB, as we refer to it, seeks to advise education throughout or through supporting the tradition of local school board control of the state's public schools. Are there any nominations for the board's delegate to WASB? Director Carr.
I nominate myself.
Okay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll. Another one, Director Gokogandi.
I nominate Director Garcia.
Are there any more? Any more nominations? There are none.
Madam Chair, members of the board, as the first nomination is Director Carr, the board will need to take a vote. And then if that nomination fails, then we would vote on Director Garcia being appointed to the WASB.
Okay.
In addition to the 3-year term delegation, there is also appointments to the, unofficial appointments to the Policy and Resolutions Committee for the Wisconsin Association of School Boards. On the,
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm sorry, on the motion to, on the appointment for the nomination of Director Carr to serve as the appointee to the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, Director Carr.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Nay.
Director Gokogandi.
Nay.
Director Herndon. Oh, I'm sorry, you're last. I'll get it together. Director Jackson.
Aye.
Director Leonard.
Nay.
Director O'Halloran.
No.
Director Simpson.
No.
Director Zomber.
No.
Chair Herndon.
Aye.
That's 3 ayes, 6 noes. That motion fails. The next nominee is Director Garcia. On the motion for Director Garcia to serve as the delegate to the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, Director Carr.
No.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Aye.
Director Jackson.
No.
Director Leonard.
Aye.
Director O'Halloran.
Aye.
Director Simpson.
Aye.
Director Zomber.
Aye.
Chair Herndon.
Aye.
That's 7 ayes, 2 noes. The motion passes. So Director Garcia will serve as the WASB's delegate for the next 3 years, and that would be something that the board would consider annually.
Next is the appointment of the board's representatives to CISA 1's Board of Control. That doesn't have to be made immediately tonight if someone were interested in thinking about participating in that respect. The next appointment is under Wisconsin Statute Section 116.02, Parent 1, Parent A, provides that annually, on or after the fourth Monday in April, the school board of each district in the agency shall appoint one of its members as its representative for the purpose of determining the composition of the Board of Control. The liaison to CISA 1 for the 2022-2023 board year was Director Herndon. Are there any nominations for the delegate to CISA 1 for the 2023-2024 school year? Nominations at this time? Director Simpson.
I'd like to nominate Director O'Halloran.
Okay, are there any more nominations for CISA 1? Madam Secretary.
If there is no objection, Director O'Halloran will serve, or we could take the roll call vote if there is more than one nomination.
Is there another nomination? Director Gokul Gandhi, I saw you. Okay. All right. There doesn't seem to be another nomination.
Okay, so by unanimous consent, Director O'Halloran will serve as the board's delegate to CISA number 1, the Board of Controls.
Thank you very much. With that, the next one is the appointment of the board's delegate to the MPS Head Start Policy Council. Again, that doesn't have to be decided tonight, but moving forward, the next appointment is for the MPS Head Start Policy Council, and the liaison to the MPS Head Start Policy Council for the 2022-23 board year was Director Simpson. Are there any nominees for the delegate to the MPS Head Start Policy Council for the 2023-24 board year? Director O'Halloran.
Director Simpson.
Are there any more nominees? Madam Secretary.
Madam Chair, members of the board, without seeing additional nominees, by unanimous consent, Director Simpson will serve as the MPS Head Start Policy Council representative.
Thank you. The next appointment is to the Title I District Advisory Council. The 2022-23 liaison was Director Leonard. Are there any nominations for the liaison to the Title I District Advisory Council for the 2023-24 school board year? Director Zomber,
Director Leonard.
are there any more nominations? Seeing none, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Madam Chair, without seeing any objections or any additional nominations, Director Leonard, by unanimous consent, will serve as the appointee to the Title I District Advisory Council.
Moving on, I think we're set pretty good at this time. Madam Secretary, is there any unfinished business?
Madam Chair, there is one item of unfinished business. Item 1 is action on the disposition of the unfinished business pending before the board and its committees at the close of business on April 20th, 2023. The attachment to this item includes a list of unfinished business pending before the board and its standing committees. The list is presented pursuant to, it's being presented to you as the continuing body pursuant to the provisions of Wisconsin State Statutes 119.10, Parent 1, which reads in part, at its annual meeting, after the election of the new board president, the clerk of the board shall report to the board its items of business pending before the board. Items from the attached list that are set aside will be referred back to the appropriate committees as pending items of business. Any items not set aside will be placed on file.
Do board members need to take a few minutes to review the list? Do I see any hands? Go ahead, please. I have to get used to the name, I apologize. Thank you. Director Jackson. Are there any more?
Madam Chair, Director Jackson is requesting a few minutes to review the list. If board members could take this time to note any items that they would like to set aside so that we could have a pending list.
Thank you.
And you do have Director O'Halloran in the queue.
Oh, I didn't see you. Go ahead, please, Director O'Halloran.
I'd like to hold over 1 through 9 and 11 and 12. I think 10 is definitely valuable, but I'm not sure where that stands, if it's been carried over from April 2021 and April 2022. So at least 1 through 9 and 11 and 12, please.
Are there any more?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I do have ready for carryover into the new board year, items set aside by Director O'Halloran for items 1 through 9 and 11 and 12. Are there any other items to be set aside? And just for a note of record, Madam Chair, members of the board, these items will be referred back to the committee, their appropriate committees. Without any additional items set aside, Madam Chair, would you like me to call the roll on the motion?
Director Jackson, are you prepared to vote at this time? Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Go ahead, please, Madam Secretary.
Director O'Halloran has set aside items 1 through 9, 11, and 12, which means that the board would be putting on file items 10, item number 10. On the motion to place item number 10 on file and move forward with the balance of the items. Director Carr.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Gokul Gandhi.
Aye.
Director Jackson.
Aye.
Director Leonard.
Aye.
Director O'Halloran?
Aye.
Director Seamson?
Aye.
Director Zomber?
Aye.
Chair Herndon?
Aye.
That's 9 ayes, the motion passes.
Okay,
Madam Chair?
yes.
The next item for transmittal is the tentative 2023-24 board calendars. The tentative calendar of the meetings of the Milwaukee Board of School Directors and its committee for the 23-24 board year is included in the attachment. The calendar has been prepared in accordance with Wisconsin statutes 119.10 and Board Rules 1.10, 1.1, 1.02, and 2.02. The recommendation is that the board determine what action, if any, it wishes to take regarding the tentative calendars.
Director O'Halloran?
I move we waive Board Rules 1.01 and 1.02 and approve the attached calendar. I'm assuming version 3 is what the attached that we're considering tonight.
Madam Chair, members of the board, that is correct. Version number 3 of the calendar that is attached is up for consideration tonight.
Okay, Director Gokul Gandhi?
Second?
Thank you. If there's no further discussion, will the secretary please call the roll?
On Director O'Halloran's motion, seconded by Director Gokul Gandhi, seconded by Vice President Gokul Gandhi, to approve version number 3 of the 2023-24 calendar as attached to this item. Director Carr,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Vice President Gokul Gandhi,
Aye.
Director Jackson,
Aye.
Director Leonard,
Aye.
Director O'Halloran,
Aye.
Director Seamson,
Aye.
Director Zombor,
Aye.
President Herndon.
Aye.
That's 9 ayes, the motion passes.
Madam Secretary, what is the next item?
The next item is item number 2, which is the annual review of and action on board compensation. At its meeting on November 28, 2000, the board directed that the board's compensation be reviewed annually at the organizational meeting. At that time, the board set salaries at $18,121 per year for board members and $18,667 per year for the board's president. Board compensation remained at that level for 21 years. In April of 2022, the board increased its compensation by 4.7%, commensurate with the cost of living adjustment given to employees. Thus, the board's compensation was adjusted to $18,972 for board members, with compensation of $19,544 for the board's president for the 22-23 board year. The recommendation is that the board determine how it wishes to proceed with this item.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board in relation to this item? Director Leonard?
I'm looking at this, but we have not discussed any other pay increases for anybody else. So at this point in time, I think it's best we just hold off and wait to see how everything comes out in the wash, so to speak.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this item? Madam Secretary, do we need to vote it down, or can we do this by unanimous consent?
Madam Chair, given that there is a board rule attached to this one, we do need to take a roll call vote. If I'm hearing Director Leonard, he is moving to keep board compensation as set in the 2022 board year.
Correct. What is the pleasure
That's-
of the board?
No.
That's not exactly, so.
Okay.
What I want to do is hold it off until we saw what happened with all the other salaries. Is that possible? Can we set that up in such a way?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I'm understanding correctly, the motion would be then to defer this item until later for consideration later within the board year.
That would sound accurate.
Okay. Director O'Halloran.
Thank you. I'm just trying to get some clarification around when. So would we just do it, and I'm not against the idea. I'm just wondering if we would do it like at the full May board meeting when we approve the budget, or if we're thinking, I don't know if anybody has any ideas around that, but I'm in favor of the consideration at a later date.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
just for clarity on the motion, that would allow the board to bring this item back anytime within the 23-24 board year. So May, June, within this same board year. So you're reserving your consideration for later this board year. So you would have an opportunity to bring that back within the May cycle.
And I appreciate that it's an opportunity at some later date. I was just trying to get like a date certain or the process whereby it would be brought back, if that is the board, three of us saying we would like it, or how that process works, how it gets attached to an agenda item, that sort of clarification.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Members of the board, that is exactly it. 3 board members could petition the chair to have this item brought back to the board through the regular board meeting. The Accountability and Finance Personnel Chair could have this item on that agenda. There are multiple ways that it could be brought back. It could be brought back as a part of the budget adjustment. So I'm happy to work with the board to determine the most effective way once there is a date certain.
I'm definitely good with that. I mean, I was thinking June, to be honest with you, but I don't want to give a set date. So
We could just, I'd be good with June.
June? Yeah, all right.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you put the motion together for us?
Yes, Madam Chair, and for the maker of the motion, Director Leonard, is it that you would reserve consideration of this item until the June 2023 board cycle?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
So noted.
Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
On the motion as read by on Director Leonard's motion, seconded by Director O'Halloran, to reserve consideration of this item until the June 2023 board cycle. Director Carr.
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Vice President Gokul Gandhi.
Aye.
Director Herndon.
Aye.
I'm sorry, you're last. I'll get it. Director Jackson.
Aye.
Director Leonard.
Aye.
Director O'Halloran.
Aye.
Director Simpson.
Aye.
Director Zomber.
Aye.
President Herndon.
Aye.
That's 9 ayes. The motion passes.
Thank you. Madam Secretary, are there any communications or petitions for referral to committees?
Madam Chair, we have no communications, no resolutions, or resolutions for tonight.
Okay, so that would be the next thing, no resolutions. Is there any further business on our agenda?
Madam Chair, that was the last item of business on tonight's agenda.
There being no further business before the board, congratulations to everyone, and this meeting is adjourned. Good night.